How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing: always protect your profits. And today, what we're going to be talking about is Triple Q, SPY, and as well as Palantir, which was a subscriber request. But before we start getting into those videos, I want to bring something to your attention. I want to make sure I'm putting the reminder out there. We have Microsoft and we have Alphabet that's going to be releasing earnings in the after hours on Tuesday. And why is this important? Depending on what those results are, it's going to have a big impact on the market. But here's another thing that has happened today. We had Walmart that came out and said, you know what, they're going to be cutting their profit outlook for Q2. And in result, we have Amazon that had a 4% pullback inside of the after hours. It could be going even further, and it could be even worse going into tomorrow. So what does this mean? We could see some weakness inside of the tech sector, and of course this is going to impact Triple Q and as well as for SPY. But of course, watching these videos and taking a look at those charts, you'll know those levels that you need to watch out for so you can find some trading opportunities. I will get into those videos right now, and just to remind you, if you're new to this channel, we also have timestamps down below inside the description, and when all of those videos are done, I'll be giving you guys my final recap. So let's get into them right now. So we're going to take a look at the chart for SPY. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at 395.57, being up 0.12%. On the low, it tested 393.21, and then on the high, testing 396.47. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 51.169 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 70.638 million shares. So you can see we did have below average volume, and we finished slightly green on the day. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, here are a few things I want to bring to your attention. Since we were able to finish slightly green, this was a good sign. We closed above the 50 EMA, and I talked about that in yesterday's video, which is around 394.30. The bulls also did a really good job defending 393 today, so that is another level that we want to watch going into tomorrow. If you remember from last week, so the Friday that just passed, we got down to around, I think it was like 392.70, somewhere within that range. So the fact that we were able to form a higher low is a really good sign. But if we decide to have some selling pressure going into tomorrow and we break through this 393 level, I'd want to see support coming in right here on the 9 EMA, which is at 391.20. If we break through 391.20, then there's a strong likelihood we'll come down to the 21 EMA, which is at 388.62. The big question is, are they going to try to sell off the market before Microsoft and Google, or I should say Alphabet, release their earnings in the after hours? If they decide to do that, that's where we can visit these particular levels. But if we continue to show support here right at 393, then I'm going to be looking for a close just under 400. Maybe we might get it around 397. We had resistance today at 396.47. So if we can close around 397 and then we end up having some good news in regards to earnings, then I'm looking for SPY to be able to break above 400 going into Wednesday. Another point that I want to show you, we are continuing to be on a strong uptrend. If we look back here on July the 14th, we had a low of 371.54, and then we moved up, and you can see right here on the 18th having a low at 380.84, and here we are right now testing a low right at 393. So we are still on an uptrend. It has not broken as of yet. Let's see what SPY could do going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the chart for Triple Q. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at 327, being down 0.57%. On the low, it tested 298.22, and then on the high, testing 302.50. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 39.77 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 58.617 million shares. So you can see we did have below average volume, and we also had a pullback as well. When we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, the first thing I want to bring to your attention, Triple Q was able to hold the 50 EMA. It is at 2 298.16 and it got to a low of 298.22. So just taking a look at from these candles, we do have a lower low and as well as a lower high. So this is a bearish trend. But if we continue to sell off, where do I want to see support? I want to see support holding at the 9 EMA, which is right here around 297.78. If we do break through this level, then don't be shocked if you see us going down to the 21 EMA, which is at 293.99 or testing around 294. In regards to a bullish move to the upside and when you want to look out for, we see that we tested a high at 302.50. So if we get above that level, then I'd want to see if QQQ can make a move going to around 306. This would be the best case scenario, especially going into earnings for Alphabet and Microsoft, which is coming out in the after hours, because if they end up doing well, then I could see QQQ trading around 310 by Wednesday. So please add that to your notes. And as far as for the overall picture, what I want to show you and the reason why we still continue to be in an uptrend, we got to look here back on July the 14th, QQQ was trading around 280. We could see here back on July the 18th trading at 287. And here we are right now, we tested a low of 298. So that means we are still looking good, and if QQQ can stay holding on around these levels, it doesn't mean that it's going to be falling off a cliff. But the moment it breaks through that 50 EMA and as well as the 9, and we have the 50 crossing over the 9, then there's a good chance we'll get down to the 21, and if we break below the 21, you guys already see what could potentially happen. Let's see what it does going into tomorrow. The chart for Palantir, let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $9.68, being down 1.63%. On the low, it tested $9.52, and then on the high, testing $9.85. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 21.451 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 34.911 million shares. So you can see we did have below average volume, and we also seen a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, here's what I want to bring to your attention. We could see that Palantir is on a solid uptrend. We could see as far as for on July the 15th, it got to a low of $8.70, and right now you could see it just tested a low of $9.52. So like I said, it is continuing to look good, but you're gonna want to see it hold support at this 21 EMA. This is very, very crucial at 9.50. If it breaks through 9.50, that's where Palantir can start coming down to testing $9. So please add that to your homework. If you're looking for a turnaround, you want to see some upside, the high of the day was at $9.85. So of course you want Palantir to get back to $10, and upon getting back to $10, you'd want to see a move going to at least $10.30 and then waiting to see what it would do from there. This is a well-known area in regards to resistance. You could see this happen in the past as well. But if it's able to actually break above these levels, you want to see it get to $10.75 and then see if it can make a move to $11. So overall, it's going to be in a very tight range between $8.69 and as well as $10.75. And in my personal opinion, it all depends on what the tech sector looks like. If we end up having a downtrend in tech and the market pulls back, Palantir will come back down to test in these lows, and then you want to see if bulls are going to step in around this $8.69 level. If they do not, then we can come pulling back down, because you can see that Palantir has a gap that needs to be filled right here around $8.33. So add that to your notes if you're going to be trading this play, but let's see what Palantir does for this week. So to give you guys my final recap for Palantir, SPY, and as well as QQQ, let's start off with Palantir real quick. So there's a gap that needs to be filled to the downside around $8.33. And as far as for the move that you want to look for to the upside, it needs to break above $10.38. If it's able to do this, then you want to see if it can make that move going to $11. And of course, this is going to be dependent on the overall market, especially the tech sector. If we see weakness in tech, we will see that in Palantir. If we see it making a move to the upside, then we can look for a turnaround, since it has experienced quite the sell-off. Now, as far as for SPY and QQQ, I must say for SPY, it had a really good finish. We saw a lot of buying towards the end of the day. And as far as 393, the bulls did a great job defending it. So going into tomorrow, we want to see a continuation of this level holding. If you remember from last week, Friday, we got down to around 392.75. So we were able to form
form a higher low, plus on top of that, we closed above the 50 EMA. So again, things are looking good overall for the SPY, but you want to watch those levels. Check out the chart analysis. It's very important if you're thinking about trading it. And as far as for QQQ, just like SPY, it was able to close above the 50 EMA, and this is exactly what you want to see. But there is a chance where we could see some weakness going into tomorrow, taking into consideration the pullback that we saw on Amazon in the after hours due to Walmart. So who's going to be picking up the slack? So I'm looking for Apple to come through, as well as for Microsoft, Alphabet, and as well as Meta. This is going to be very interesting to look forward to going into tomorrow, but if you pay attention to the levels that I went over when we took a look at the charts, you should be perfectly fine in regards to coming up with a strategy. We also can't forget the Fed meeting. I know I keep saying that. I know I sound like a broken record, but there's a lot of volatility in these markets. If you haven't noticed already, and if you are trading options, we've noticed that the IV has been going up quite a bit, and that is not surprising whatsoever. So that's why inside of the private Discord, I was letting all of the members know we're going to be trading with lighter size just for this week because of the volatility that is ahead. There is no reason why whatsoever you should be having any FOMO. You want to have a game plan, especially since we don't know what the Fed is going to be doing in regards to the rate hike. In my personal opinion, I want them to stick to 75 basis points. But if they decide to go with 100, I could see this market falling right off a cliff. And as far as all of those levels to the downside, they will get hit, and it can even go down further. And that goes for any other stocks that you might be holding in your portfolio, or maybe you might be thinking about trading. And that is just something that you need to prepare for. So if we end up having a crash inside of the market, you will be able to take advantage and make some money to the downside. And if you need help with that, then join us inside of the private Discord. You can find the link down inside the description. You could also find it in the first comments as well. So let's see what the market gives us going into tomorrow, and hopefully by the time I put a video together, I'll be able to give you an update in regards to Alphabet and Microsoft's earnings. We'll be talking real soon.